and fight again and again.
You're in a strong position still in the Premier League. It looks like you'll still be in the Premier League next season. You're also in the FA Cup. So there's still a second half of the season which has got a lot to offer.
I think we still do a great season. Nobody thought we will be as top as we are now. So we are really proud about it, but it's not finished. Championship is not the end, so we need to continue like this.
Did he give you that stare?
No, he didn't actually. For once, he actually smiled at me. Because normally he comes out and looks like he wants to, whatever. But he was in a relatively good mood despite the result. And it's interesting hearing his comments about intensity in the Premier League, having heard Anthony Gordon's comparison, between Premier League and Champions League. And, a lot of the players that Sunderland brought in this summer are used to European football. They're used to playing on the continent, and they've played Champions League football and so on. So I think that's another. It's a credit to players like Taobi, Siddiqui, and others that they've stepped up in the way that they have to the physicality of the Premier League, because it's something they clearly wouldn't have been used to before. They can be a very physical team, Kelly especially.
Yeah. Well, that's something that they would have looked at very carefully in recruitment, Danny. Obviously, players that haven't played in the Premier League, they look at attributes which they feel will come good in the Premier League, and it's never guaranteed, of course, but it seems to have worked for most of the players they've brought in.
Yeah, and I think what you've got to look at as well, and generally teams that come up have less possession. I think we're third lowest, 42%. I think we're averaging this season, so you need running power off the ball.
Yes.
Siddiqui brings that, Diarra brings that. Obviously, Granit has covered distance, but he's not one of them that flies around the pitch. He's positional more so. But you need legs in a team, to go and put pressure on the opposition. If they're going to have a lot of ball, it's hard. I've been in those positions against your Chelseas and these teams who pass you to death. And it's hard work doing the hard yards, out of possession, shuffling side to side. Then when you get the ball, you still need some in the tank to drive forward. And we've done that at times. Recently, we've scored some good goals. As we said, certainly in those wing positions, there's a hard shift. Got to help out with the full-backs as well. And then once you get the ball, carry it 20, 30 yards up the pitch and try and create for us as well.
Ironically, that West Ham game was one game where Sunderland had more possession in terms of the percentage, didn't they? But that was one of the worst.
And Burnley, go back to
season.
Burnley as well, second game of the season. I think that's one of the highest we've had, got beat 2-0. So again, it comes down to what you're doing with the ball when you're in possession.
But there's a strange game, wasn't it? A game of two halves. I mean, Taobi could have scored early in that game, and
Mayenda as well.
And Mayenda should have scored, really. But I mean, had they done so, and I think it's the same. We go back to that game and the way that it panned out at Burnley at Turf Moor. Siddiqui scored in the first few minutes at West Ham. That may have been a completely different game as well. But as it turned out, they both games were games of two halves, because Sunderland vastly improved at West Ham after half time because of the changes that they made with the three substitutions. But Sunderland at Turf Moor, to concede so quickly after the break was that undid them. And again, that was a game of two halves. I didn't think they were that bad in the first half at Turf Moor. It was the second half where it all unwound for them.
Anything else to hear from Shims Dean?
Yeah, very briefly. A month away then in Morocco. Is he pleased to be back?
Yeah, very good. I'm very happy to play again, to